Hello, everybody. My name is Mark, and welcome back to Campo di Bella podcast. And I have my partner here.
Your wife?
Your wife. Yes, my wife.
Your business partner.
Yeah, what's your name?
Your sidekick, your girl Friday, whatever. Mary Ann. Sorry. This is Mary Ann, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. We're doing the podcast a little earlier this week because I was able to get an appointment for a COVID vaccine tomorrow morning. So our Friday's going to be a little packed. Solid.
Yeah, so that's actually good news for everybody, and that we will be able to probably open up in mid-April.
No promises yet.
No promises, but at this point we're planning on probably opening up in mid-April, either the second or the third week, to in-house dining, but with pandemic restrictions. So the appropriate spacing, masks required when you're not eating or drinking, and we're still going to follow those precautions. But we should be open, and we'll probably continue takeout for a little bit until we can get people outside. But we plan on having a limited amount of in-house dining, probably for both Friday and Saturday nights, I think. Okay. Yeah, so we'll start. Will
we do takeout Friday and Saturday again then?
Yeah, I think we're going to do takeout.
Oh, no, we talked about not doing takeout on Saturday because it was too hard for the 5-course.
Just on Friday.
Just on Friday.
But we're going to do takeout as long as we are limited to in-house. As soon as the weather gets warmer and we can move people outside and have inside, then we'll probably not offer takeout at that point. But we'll see.
We'll play it by ear.
Yeah.
That's kind of how we did it last year and stuff. But yes, we're very excited about getting back. Opening back up to in-house dining. We're also very excited about the new plan that just was approved by President Biden that allows us to apply for some grant money to help us out here in 2021 to expand our outdoor seating and help cover some of the costs that we are going to incur here while we start to get the business back up and running.
We've got to apply for the grant. There's no guarantee that we're going to get the grant.
I said apply for the grant, but there's a grant program out there that we're looking forward to applying to. And so helping us through this time, this kind of transition time.
So most of this, what else? Most of the snow is gone from,
2/3 of the snow is gone, but the snow that needs to be gone is not the one that's on our vineyard right now on the slope of the vineyard, because we need to get up there and start pruning. So, and that's where our garden is. But so hopefully in the next few weeks here, in the next couple of weeks, that will all go away and we can get up there and start prepping the fields and pruning the vineyard.
Yep, I think half the snow is gone on you're actually seeing the soil from Culinary Garden, so that's good.
Yeah, and we're also working on trying to get to a farmer's market this summer to advertise and sell our red wine vinegar. So that's another exciting thing that we're learning and doing. We mentioned the baby lambs that we were bottle feeding. We have 2 now because the sister started joining the one that was bottle fed, and now she wants a bottle too. So it's kind of cute. So 3 times a day we're bottle feeding the lambs. We have 2 more lambs on our farm. So we have a total of 4 lambs, 3 girls and 1 boy. The chickens have started laying eggs. Yay. And things are starting to green up a little bit. Not a lot, but
they're not greening up.
Not greening up, I'm sorry, but I'm looking forward to the greening up part.
It'll come soon.
Yeah. So, and Mark's in the middle of getting some house projects done this spring and summer. So wood was delivered today to do some of those projects.
And 2x4 prices are crazy. They were
we know.
$2 last year, and they're up to $6 something this year. And the guy just told me there's a drywall shortage as well, and we got probably the last of the drywall that they had. So things aren't looking good for the immediate construction future, but hopefully things will improve next year. But this week's topic is going to be Campo di Bella at Home, our web book, which has...
It's a web cookbook for those of you...
I was saying something.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Which has... The first half of the book is about how we got started. So it's a story of how we got started on the farm, the CSA, and then migrated over to winemaking and opening the restaurant. And the second half of the book is all about our favorite general recipes. And there will be another book in the future. I'm not sure when, but that's going to be more about our Italian heritage and the Italian specific recipes. But this one's about how we got started and kind of our core recipes we offer. Right now it's in the web accessible format, and the web address is campoathome.com. And you can just Google that or go there directly. And you will be able to see kind of an index page, table of contents, in introductory page as well, and a list of recipes. But to actually gain access to the site and read the book or download it in PDF format and print it out, it costs $25. So we're charging $25 for access to the book. And if things go well, I mean, if everyone likes the book and gives us feedback on it, we can potentially modify it and then maybe go to a publisher and have an actual hard copy done in the future. But we'll see. But Marianne's here today, and she's going to read the introduction.
Wait, am I not here every week?
I don't know, are you?
I am. Okay. And so, but today I am going to be the narrator. So I'm going to read the introduction of our book called Campo di Bella at Home. My wife, Marianne, and I grew up in the 1970s.
Your wife, Marianne?
That's what the book says. I didn't say it. It's
right.
in your voice, not mine.
Okay.
But you're making me read it. So what do you want me to do about this?
Okay, start over.
Okay. Do you want me to say my wife, Mark?
No,
okay,
I'm not a wife.
Okay. My wife, Marianne, and I grew up in the 1970s, both of us watching a television show called Green Acres, not knowing we would be living a very similar life to the characters in the program. Eddie Albert played a New York City attorney who brought his cosmopolitan wife, Ava Gabor, to the countryside where they bought a dilapidated farm in search of a simpler life. They had countless comic adventures trying to adjust to their new life, many of which we will parallel. Both of us were born and raised in the city of Chicago to blue-collar families and were the first to go to college. We went on to academic and professional careers, but had the same desire for simplifying our life. Neither of us knew anything about rural life or farming. Marianne, despite having an attraction to country life, was still the socialite and was initially as reluctant as Ava Gabor to embrace the idea. Our story starts with our childhood and our Italian heritage. However, that is a book in itself and a story for another time. We start our adventure with our professional lives in the search for the perfect land in the countryside. The land we found was what we thought an ideal place for our dream home. With professional income and years ahead of us, we built our custom home. 5 acres of land allowed us to plant a modest garden, several fruit trees, and a small vineyard. Mark became interested in winemaking and built a small wine cellar in the basement. This was the start of too many hobbies. The amount of produce from our garden was too much for our small family. We wanted to become part of the community and thought selling extra vegetables at the local farmers market in Mount Horeb would be a fun thing to do. We met other local producers who ran community-supported agriculture farms and offered weekly vegetable shares to their customers. We found this intriguing and decided to give it a try, but on a much smaller scale. Gardening, community involvement, and a professional academic provided a great balance. After a few years at a rewarding job, things changed. Unfortunately, our lives were soon to change after the loss of several close friends in a work-related tragic accident. These events made us reconsider our priorities in life for the better. Set on becoming real farmers, we searched for the perfect farm and more land. A month after we placed our custom-built home on the market, the housing crisis hit and the recession soon followed. We had already found our ideal farm and had an accepted offer on the property while still owning our first home. We thought the sale of our home would be easy, but the recession made that very difficult for several years. Our new home was rented to an acquaintance, another local farmer. Our new farm, was rented to an acquaintance, another local farmer, while we continued to try to sell our home. We began to work the land while our acquaintance rented the farmhouse and raised cattle and horses on part of our pastures. Having 2 properties was emotionally and financially difficult. Our friend was a great resource on all things related to farming and rural life. He was a tremendous help in getting started. There were many incidents with his animals, such as escaped goats, horses munching on our vegetable fields, and cattle getting loose, but this made the transition to rural life interesting. Our home eventually sold, which allowed us to spend more time and effort on our small, community-supported agriculture vegetable farm. Animals were slowly added and the vineyard planted. Broken fences were replaced and small updates to the barn and farmhouse were made. I enjoyed working on the land, and Marianne loved spending time with customers, delivering vegetables each week, and socializing at the farmer's market. Our weekly newsletter with recipes accompanied our vegetable shares. Some of our customers enjoyed the recipes more than the vegetables and asked us jokingly to do the cooking for them. We took this suggestion seriously and decided to bring in a little more income by hosting farm-to-table dinners at our local church and a restaurant in town. The dinners were hosted once a season and became more and more popular. My enjoyment and skill at winemaking grew over the years, and we had the idea of building a small commercial winery and a place to host our dinners directly on our farm. The winery was born after more than 2 years of planning. Customers came and enjoyed the farm, countryside, food, and wine. Running a CSA in a winery was too difficult, and we decided to continue growing vegetables and raising animals for ourselves and the farm-to-table dinners, but gave up the CSA life. This is only a glimpse of our life in the last few years. This book will share stories of our adventures. The last half of the book is a collection of a few of our favorite recipes and tips on cooking techniques. Some of the recipes are Italian, but most are rustic French. Our Italian heritage and cuisine is another long story we hope to share with you in the future.
Well, that was actually pretty good. You should be a professional reader, book person.
It's called a narrator.
That's what it's called.
It's called a narrator.
So no matter how many times I read that and tried to edit that thing, there are still
There's still mistakes, yeah.
There was
I know.
I caught one mistake in the first paragraph.
As I'm reading it, I'm going, I'm a little tongue-tied here, so yes.
But I think that's one of the benefits of having the web book. I can go back and edit things. So if you guys do log on and purchase the book, let me know if there's any editing to do. But we also have, we'll give you just kind of a rough idea of the stories in the book by naming some of the chapters and then giving you some of the recipe ideas. So what do we have? We've got...
Well, they're also funny. So, I mean, each chapter is another one of our comedic experiences on the farm. So I don't think we talk about sheep, we talk about chickens, we talk about the ducks in the dog castilla and a yellow ball. We talk about cows and pigs and grapes and turning into a restaurant. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of great little stories in there to listen to read and listen to, and hopefully put a smile on your face.
Yeah, so if you guys want to know exactly how we got started and our funny stories, go ahead and check out the book and go from there. But the recipes that we have are kind of broken up into appetizers, first courses, main courses, and desserts, right? Is that what we have?
I think so. Yeah, that's the way it looks like in here.
And what are just name some of the recipes that we have, starting from the beginning and kind of going through. You don't have to name them all because they can check them out on the website.
Well, actually, I want to tell the ones that I think are some of the Winehouse favorites, and then also some of the favorites that I think you should explore if you're a foodie enthusiast, because although the name may sound difficult or not, or you may never have heard the name, these dishes are really fun, and a lot of them are just rustic and easy. So wouldn't you say?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Oops, sorry. That's my reminder phone to go and pull the bread out.
You gotta pull the bread out.
Sorry. So one of my favorites, or one of the Winehouse favorites, is the kale Caesar salad. That's something that you came up with when we had so much kale coming out of the fields in the fall, and we needed a salad dish for fall dinners. And so the kale Caesar salad is just one of, I think, everybody's favorite.
Yeah, that's
in my opinion.
That's
a good one.
Garlic Scape pesto pasta.
Wait a minute. I just wanted to say that the Caesar dressing in there has no eggs in it, which is always surprising to people when they eat it, and it's very fresh.
I want to be safe and not
anybody. But it's also, when you're thinking Caesar style dressing, you think eggs and stuff. So okay, and the garlic scape pesto pasta comes from the garlic scapes that we are harvesting at the beginning of the season, when the garlic plants first start to shoot up, and that's always a fun one.
Prosciutto tartine is a nice one that we came up with.
That's actually on our wine bar menu.
Yep.
That's a regular appetizer
That's a regular
choice.
appetizer.
Yeah. So that's Massimo's favorite sandwich in the whole wide world. And it's not really a sandwich.
Open sandwich.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting to that. You're rushing me through this.
Get to the point.
Would you like to like to pick some of these? Okay. It's an open face sandwich can be used with ricotta. We've done both ricotta and goat cheese, depending on what we have available and what's in season at the time, with fresh prosciutto shaved over it, and then the aged balsamic. That's so delicious. And usually a little bit of the microgreens on top really hits the spot. But that is Massimo. You don't even have to pay him cash. Just pay him in prosciutto tartine and he'll be a happy boy. I think one of my other favorites here is actually next week's first course, the Romesco sauce.
Yeah, that's good.
I love that. That's the peppers
So
and it's a roasted
peppers,
red pepper.
Walnuts, tomatoes, onions, all in a nice sauce.
It's like it's not a sauce though; it's a spread. It's a spread. And then you just on the crostini, it's just amazing. The salmon roulette are always a fun one. Rillettes. Is that the one with the clarified butter on the top of it?
Isabel would kill you if you said roulette.
Sorry. But sorry, Isabel. Is that the one with the little clarified butter on the top of it? So the first time that Mark made that one, people were having trouble getting past the clarified butter, and seeing that much butter on the top was like very disconcerting. Thank you to them.
They would remove it and put it aside. I'm like, what are you
they were
doing?
They were missing the point of it because it melts under the roulette and on the bread. Rillette. And it's so delicious and so wonderful. Orecchiette with sausage and greens. That's always good because we're using whatever greens come out of the fields, and that's always a fun one. So you can put that together pretty easy for a weeknight dinner. Talk about this soup pesto.
Oh, pesto?
Yeah, that sounds like a very difficult dish. Is that a difficult dish?
It's beef, it's vegetables, it's carrots, it's potatoes, if I remember my recipes correctly.
Yeah.
But what's good about it is that it's in a soup form. It's not a stew form, but it has a very kind of refreshing green dressing on top of it, along with a little bit of toasted bread.
And it's light, right?
It's light, but it's really flavorful.
Yeah, and it's I don't want to call it hearty soup because
that might be a good one for spring.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I also skipped over my other favorite one that has a funky name, the potato dauphinoise. Can you talk about that? Yeah, that one.
It's just layered. So we take the potatoes and we mandolin them. So that means that we cut them very, very thinly.
Don't cut your fingers.
Yeah, exactly. And we put them in a tar pan and layer them with melted butter, garlic, what else? French thyme, and a layer of Gruyere cheese, and then add another layer of potatoes, and then actually cream. We put a little bit of cream in there too. So we just keep on layering things: potatoes, garlic, butter, cream, French thyme, and keep going.
But there's no crust around it, right? It's just a beautiful, yeah.
And then we bake it in the oven and then slice it, and it's
such
nice.
a great side dish, or even in the morning with breakfast. I just like it. It's just a wonderful dish. And then I'm not sure what you're doing to me.
Just get closer to the mic.
Oh, me closer to the mic. Okay. I noticed that you have the braised short ribs and red wine. That's one of my favorite all-time main courses because it's such a hearty dish. But I think the cassoulet by far is one of the Winehouse favorites. That when you make the cassoulet, people come. It's just really super delicious.
It's probably my favorite month, and that it's just all kind of French comfort food.
Yeah, you really do like January quite a bit. Yeah. And then I'm looking at. The rest of these main courses are just standards for us. The flank steak with gremolata, grilled lemon chicken and sausage. That's another great one. Chicken marsala is another. We talked about doing that coming up here soon this spring too. And then the sausage lentil stew and stuff.
What about desserts?
And so the desserts. What's your favorite off of this list?
I'd have to look at it.
Aren't you looking?
I'm looking. But
keep looking. I think my favorite is the Flourless chocolate cake, and I'm not a chocolate girl, and I do love your French apple tart. It's a beautiful presentation, the French apple tart, but my favorite is the Flourless chocolate cake.
The Madeleines are really good too, and I think the difference in the Madeleines that we get to take part in is they're great in spring. You can put them with strawberries down in June, but if they come right out of the oven, they have a completely different kind of enhanced flavor. They're really good cold too, but if you eat them right out of the oven, they're incredible.
Well, and then your seasonal panna cottas are always. What's your favorite flavored panna cotta? Maple syrup is mine.
No, I think just vanilla with fresh berries in summertime.
Yeah, no, but I like the maple syrup one. All right, I think that's it. I mean, there's just a bunch of different recipes to choose from. You've got quite a few here, so there must be over 24?
No, I think I got close to 50 recipes on there. There should be close
this
to 50.
doesn't look like 50, but
there should be almost 50 recipes in the cookbook.
We're missing a page then.
Okay,
looks like, but anyway.
Did it get printed on the opposite side?
No, I looked.
Okay,
no.
So we're missing a
page.
Anyway, but don't forget, so campoathome.com. If you can't remember that, just go to campodibella.com and there's a link to our webbook cookbook off there. And we
wait, does it say cookbook?
It says cookbook.
Okay, so right on the top of the Campo di Bella webpage is all the little subcategories, starting with winery, and then cookbook is there, and it just clicks you and takes you right to Campo di Bella at home.
Yeah, and we'd appreciate the support because it hasn't really sold that well. I thought it'd sell.
Oh, at Christmas we sold some.
There's a few, but we really want to get out there and get people's feedback and get people's comments and get this book, webbook, sold so we can hopefully go to a publisher with some valuable feedback and show that people are actually interested in this to actually get a web version or a physical version published.
Like coffee table version or a cookbook version for your kitchen.
Yeah.
For those of you like me who like to have a hard copy cookbook.
Yeah, but we can't do that unless people get the webbook version first.
Okay. So check that out.
What's on the menu for next week?
Oh, next week I think we are doing a Spanish Latin American theme. We start with that Romesco spread.
I don't think is there a unified term for like Spain and Latin America and Mexico? I don't think there is. Is there?
I don't know if it's just considered Latin because they fall under that, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know either. So anyway, we're going to start the dinner with Romesco.
I just said.
I know.
Okay.
So on toasted bread. And then we're actually going to slow braise the pork shoulder, but we're going to do it in adobo sauce. So we're going to take some of our dried peppers and chilies and use a little bit of tomato and all kinds of different things and slow braise it for more of a kind of Mexican flair. And then I'm going to make the chocolate mousse and with some caramel, but I'm going to spice it up a little bit, maybe with a little bit of cayenne and a little bit of cinnamon added to it to give
Sounds
it a
yummy.
little bit of hopeful Mexican flair. Hopefully I'm not taking too many liberties, but I think it'd be good.
Yeah. Actually, I've been hankering for some good Mexican, so this is right up my alley. I love having Friday dinners. Now we get to actually eat the dinners right about the same time that our customers are eating their dinner. So it's kind of fun being part of the audience or the guests who get to eat the food hot instead of usually at 9:00 at night when I'm tired and I'm eating part of it and then I eat the other part of it for lunch the next day.
I'm not sure we get to eat it hot because we got to finish up in the wine house.
No, never hot. Not hot like fresh out of the oven hot, but we warm it up, but still it's not the same.
And just an introduction to the future of March menus. So we're going to have braised sausage and mushroom over polenta the following week, and Italian Easter coming up the first week of April, and which is going to consist of probably a more vegetarian-friendly menu with vegetarian.
Because we're on a Friday.
Yep. Ricotta tomato lasagna. So that'll be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we'll give you details in their podcast as far as the full menu, or just check out the website.
Yeah. And forgive those of you that are celebrating St. Patty's Day and St. Joseph's Day next weekend. Sorry about that. Or next week. Mark is not very good about holidays, federal or otherwise. So He had no idea, and so that's why he made the Latin-inspired cuisine instead of making it a St. Joseph's Day-inspired cuisine. But that's okay. We'll forgive him for this one.
That's okay. So that's about it for this week's podcast.
Yeah,
And
is there anything else we need to tell people?
I don't think so, but it's just I don't know if we're going to continue the podcast. We need more feedback. We need more people clicking the like button. We need more people actually listening. Especially, I mean, we'd be happy to do this if there's a lot of people out there that listen to it and just leave feedback and likes in the comment sections on YouTube. But if we don't get a lot, then we're going to get busy on the farm and we might have to put it aside until next winter.
Yeah, maybe we'll put it on pause for during the busy season, especially now that we're transitioning to in-house dining and trying to get the farm stay up and running and trying to get ourselves to a farmer's market. It may be a little bit more daunting than we realize on top of all the other spring projects we've got going on.
Yeah,
so we'll keep you posted on the future of the podcast.
Yeah, we may or may not be back next week. We got to see how things go. And if we have time, we'll do it. If we don't, if we're really starting to get into the season, then we might postpone it.
Maybe we'll try to do every other week if we can, or maybe just postpone till a slower time.
Yep. Unless people say keep going, but we'll see.
We appreciate those of you that are listening, though. Yeah. Thank you so much. And have a good rest of your week and weekend. Enjoy the warmer weather we have.
Okay. Hope to see you guys soon at the winery.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.